My sister-in-law wants to straight up be the center of attention. Well, she gets really upset because I'm pregnant, and once again she wants all eyes to be on her. So then she starts to create problems in my marriage, problems with my mother-in-law, problems with my life. So I'm not going to allow this to happen, and she's not going to put me through this misery. So this is what I'm going to do. Hey guys, I'm Cleo. I'm a married woman, expecting my first kid with my husband Ethan. We also run a business together after we both graduated from college. He and I were the most competitive people all throughout college. We always liked to do better than others and then tease the other until the next, test that we could compete over. I would not say it was good fun, even though Ethan now claims it was. We were genuinely trying our best to out each other. When we were graduating, he approached me with a business idea. I was suspicious in the beginning, but when we truly started to talk, his passion was easy to see. We soon became engulfed with, opening our own firm and providing our services. It started off very small, and it took us some years to be truly successful. Opening a business made us partners instead of competition. This made me see an unseen part of him, and he saw the same. Soon we started to date, and it was a no-brainer because over the years we've grown so close to each other. We barely had a social life outside of work. I'd already met his family before we even began dating. Polly, his mom, was always a gracious host. A bit on the traditionalist side, but not too bad. But his sister Serena, she was the wild child of the family. As a teenager, she did not listen to anyone. To Polly's annoyance, and as a college student, she still did not take anything seriously. She's a brat to this day, if you ask me. I've met her enough times to see her for the person that she truly is. She loves being the center of attention. One might say she's addicted to being the talk of the town. It didn't matter if it's for a good thing or a bad thing. I just remember that she got arrested for physically assaulting an old man when she was drunk and did not feel any sort of remorse at all. That almost got her thrown out of college. She liked stirring up drama, and I had seen her lie to people to create drama in front of my very eyes. She once announced her engagement to someone on a baby shower of one of her cousins, promptly stealing the attention, only to later announce that they broke up at a funeral. I like to stay away from her because of that, and I did not want her to ruin my wedding day, so I made her a bridesmaid and made my other bridesmaids keep an eye out for her. She did not create so much drama. Not on my wedding day, thank goodness. I think even Polly was on the lookout for Serena. She really loves and is proud of her son, and she would never wish for her own daughter to ruin her son's special day. I did see her pull Serena away from the bar at one point during our wedding, already taking precautions that Serena won't do anything to jeopardize the special day. The last few years of our marriage have been peaceful. We rarely meet Serena outside of huge functions, and she manages to be cordial with me. But there has always been just a seed of doubt in the back of my mind, to be weary of her, and I was right to doubt her. Recently, I found out that I was pregnant. Ethan and I have been trying for a few months, so when I found out it was, a big deal to us. We kept the news to ourselves until the few months later, and then the rest of the family, we told them. Everybody was happy, even Serena, and she told us that she would spoil the baby rotten once they were born. I had not been suspecting anything because of her positive reaction to the pregnancy. Until very recently, that is. All through my pregnancy, I had a few complications. This led Ethan to force me to take an early off from work. Ethan encouraged his mother and sister to spend more time with me, keeping an eye on me, and initially I had felt infantilized, but like knowing that there were people who cared for me and my baby enough to help. Slowly, I started to notice that Polly would pay me a lot of attention, and it would make Serena frustrated at her mother. I could tell that Serena was getting mad that I was hogging all of her mom's attention. She was just being immature, but I did not want to take her frustrations out on me. So I invited her to a brunch a month ago. I made up an excuse that I wanted to celebrate the aunt-to-be before the baby came. The brunch, it went well, or at least I thought it did. I picked her up on a cab, and we went to an expensive restaurant. We had a nice conversation flowing between us all throughout the brunch, and I tried to make her feel more important, so I asked her about her love life and steered away from the professional life because it didn't really exist. Well, I talked about how excited I was for her and everybody else to meet my baby. I even paid the bill without even asking if she would split it. I did everything right, or so I thought. After the brunch, she began giving me a cold shoulder, and it wasn't just me who felt this, but everyone else as well. Ethan asked me once what happened between us on the brunch, and I could not answer him because I didn't know what I did wrong. I went over everything that happened on the brunch, and I could not understand why my sister-in-law was treating me like a stranger. Even Polly asked me if I had said anything to offend Serena. I genuinely could not understand why she was treating me this way, so I asked Polly to ask Serena instead. I know that Polly didn't want to talk about it with Serena because she was just too much drama at times, but I needed to find out through my mother-in-law. Then after that, my mother-in-law too started to give me a cold shoulder. I was so shocked at her behavior. I mean, what? I and mother-in-law aren't the closest people in the world, but because of my complications, it had brought us somewhat close. So when she stopped coming over to check on me and spend some quality time, I was shocked and hurt. What could I have done? I mean, I don't know, to make both sister-in-law and mother-in-law treat me like this? That's when my husband came home yesterday and asked me a question. He asked me why I would be so ungrateful to my mother-in-law to call her overbearing and annoying. Well, I was confused. I told him that I would never call Polly any of that. It was not difficult to convince him of it because he knew the kind of sister that he had. It would not take a rocket scientist to know that Serena was lying to Polly, who had then revealed what I apparently said about her over the brunch to Ethan. Ethan revealed that Serena claimed that I felt smothered by Polly's constant intervention and found her overbearing and annoying. Serena was claiming that she had stopped talking to me to take a stand for her mom, who was now applauding her daughter for doing that for her. But I had not insulted Polly in the first place. I straight up adore Polly, and I like how much she cares for me, and she cares for her unborn grandchild. She had even helped me paint the baby's nursery when Ethan was too busy to help me. I've always tried to show my gratitude to her very outwardly. I can't believe that Polly believes Serena's obvious lies. Ethan, of course, told Polly the truth, but she stayed completely unconvinced, guys, and I mean completely. She thought that Ethan was just trying to maintain the peace. So when I wished to convince her, she would not even talk to me. I feel so angry. How dare Serena lie to my mother-in-law just because she wants to be the center of attention like always, and I did everything. I tried to include her, celebrate her becoming an aunt, and she used that against me to cause trouble between me and her mom. She's once again making everything about herself, and here I am, almost ready to give birth to a literal human being. And she's throwing a tantrum about not getting her mommy's attention. And I'm also mad at Polly for straight up falling for it. Come on! Instead of asking me if what Serena even told her was the truth in the first place. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So, today's story is about to get pretty intense. Cleo is coming back for another update, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, you're gonna want to hit that subscribe button for daily drama stories. Alright guys, here's the first update. Cleo's back again. Update number 1. Hello everyone, this is Cleo again. I read through your comments and I just want to say that Serena did not act offended by the end of the dinner. She was so happy to let me cover the bill and we departed separately from there. So she definitely was not offended by then. I did not insinuate that my mother-in-law's overbearing or annoying. I truly think she's amazing, and I love that woman. Anyways, I and Ethan have decided to cut Serena out from our lives completely. We thought this decision through and have decided it to be the best course of action. Giving birth to a baby is traumatic, and recovery is important. And I don't want the constant threat of a woman in her 20s getting jealous that my baby was getting more attention than her, and maybe she might just do something about it. We ceased all communication with her, and when we threw a small party, with only intimate family and friends to celebrate my baby before they were born, we did not invite Serena. We did, however, invite Polly. She was not happy to find that her daughter has been uninvited, so we took her aside and gently explained the situation to her. She just huffed and puffed and told us that we were being too sensitive. How were we being sensitive when she was the one getting offended by the gossip her own daughter made up for her? So, all throughout the dinner, Polly kept on sighing and finding problems with the arrangement. First, she didn't like the decor. Then she didn't like the food. And by the end of the day, I was getting tired of her theatrics. It was starting to feel like we never cut Serena out of our lives in the first place. I wished to have an adult, mature conversation with her, but she refused to even talk to me any time I went up to her. I tried telling her that I did not say anything against her. I even tried to tell her that I never found her overbearing. I quite liked her fussing over me and the baby like some of you guys suggested. She seemed like she was going to trust me, but at the end she was not convinced. Because of the end of the night, she told my husband that I no longer have to be afraid that she would be overbearing. Before she left, she promised that she would not do anything for me once the baby's born and would leave me alone and not annoy me. Guys, I tried everything. I threw a party where Polly would have to show up. I tried to reassure her, me and my husband both did. But I think she's truly hurt by why she thinks that about her. She's a naive woman. I would never say those things, and she gets hurt so easily. I just don't know how to convince her that I adore her constant fussing over me. And even if I did not, I would never badmouth her to Serena, who everybody knows is a huge gossip. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's Cleo. It's been almost, 2 months since my last update? I gave birth a week after my last update to a beautiful, healthy baby girl. She's just so tiny and adorable. Even looking at her makes me wonder how I and Ethan created something so precious together. The labor was hard, and there were complications, but in the end we all pulled through. It was one of the most emotional times of my life, and I did not cry all through the labor, but the moment my baby girl was brought into this world and pressed to my chest, I could not stop bawling. Ethan and I could not be happier in the upcoming weeks, until we allowed my mother-in-law to come over and visit her granddaughter. That's when things went south really, really fast. The first time Polly came over, she completely ignored me and Ethan and went straight to the baby. We had thought that she was just too excited to meet her, but soon as it became crystal clear that she was giving us a complete cold shoulder, she had given us no congratulations, no words of affirmation, nothing. She never ignored Ethan's message to her or her granddaughter's birth, straight away asking when she could come see her. And she meant it, as she did not even glance at us. As if that was not enough, she began criticizing our parenting skills, and she would yell at us for making even the smallest mistakes in front of her, making the baby cry. Then she would snatch the baby from our arms like we were incompetent and calm her down herself. Now, that would have been helpful if her yelling wasn't the one that caused her to cry in the first place. She was once even mad that I did not put the baby in Serena's old baby clothes and that I was taking a stab at her daughter, who wasn't even invited to the house to meet her niece. It usually would not hurt much, but I'm not too emotional. Anyways, I'm still recovering from the C-section, and now I have to deal with her immature behavior. It's truly like Serena never left us. Once Ethan began going back to work, it became even worse. I would overhear her telling my baby girl how she will make sure that we never teach her how to lie. She would just ooh and awe at her about how terrible I and my husband were, but she would not let us teach her anything bad. It started to really hurt having her around, and I have to admit it. She's become truly obnoxious and annoying. I'm not in a state to deal with a grown adult acting like an immature child. Polly needs to get over herself. I feel like I need to be harsh with her. I just don't want to hurt her feelings, but if she's going to disrupt my life like this with her bitterness, then I don't want her anywhere around my newborn baby. I just went through something traumatic, and instead of being understanding, she's acting like a kid. I don't even have it in me to make her understand how hurtful her actions are towards me. Update number 3. Hello everyone, it's Cleo here again. Today I had enough of my mother-in-law's bullcrap and set the record straight. I was taking a nap with my baby girl and no one was home. Ethan had gone grocery shopping and was so relieved when my baby fell asleep. I thought that I had to just take a nap too, but when I woke up she wasn't there. I thought that maybe Ethan had returned and taken her out of the room when she woke up so as to not disturb my sleep, but I could not find him anywhere. His car was not in the driveway and he wasn't even inside of the home. So I start to panic. I called him, hoping that maybe he's taken the baby outside and, got some sunshine or something. But just as I was dialing his number, his car pulled into the driveway and he did not have our baby girl. We started to panic and searched the entire home. She's just a 3-month-old. She can't even crawl somewhere. But I didn't know what to do. I was almost on the verge of calling the police when my mother-in-law pulled into the driveway. I was terrified that she would brand me as a negligent mom and make my life hell, even now that I was too emotional if she found out that my baby was missing. But she came out of the car and turned around to unfasten my baby from the back seat. Well, obviously. I was absolutely furious to realize that my mother-in-law had taken my baby away from me when I was sleeping without my consent at all, and made me think that she had been kidnapped or something. Anyways, I rushed at her in nothing more than anger, and I snatched the baby from her arms. Well, she was annoyed at my behavior and asked me what the hell was I doing. So I screamed and asked her what the hell is she doing, thinking that taking my daughter without telling me is okay. She just sighed and rolled her eyes, and she claimed that she had just taken her to a park for an hour. It was no big deal. So I screamed at her that I didn't know where my daughter was for half an hour and thought that she had been kidnapped. My daughter had started to cry at the commotion, and I had to rock her around while screaming at Polly. Polly just huffed and said that she was being nice by not waking me up. But of course, I still see everything that she does as overbearing and annoying. That's when my husband stepped in. He told her that she was acting out of line. You can't just come inside and take somebody's baby out of their house while they're asleep. Come on. Without their consent, that's not how it works at all. Anyways, I didn't even know that she came over and was regretting ever giving her a key to my house. I've had enough of her and told her to give us back our house key. I told her that she was no longer welcome in my house. She was no longer welcome to meet her grandbaby if she can't respect me. And if she's going to ignore me, then me and my whole family are going to ignore her rights back. I told her that if she can't realize that her daughter is a liar and lied to get her attention, then I don't want my daughter near a woman so easily manipulated. Ethan and I just left her standing there. She tried to persuade us to at least let her meet her granddaughter. We had had enough. How dare she do that? I can't even imagine why she just doesn't think it's a big deal. She took my baby when I was asleep. I had no idea where she was. Update number 4. Hey guys, I hope you're doing all right. So, it's Cleo again. It's been a month since we were cut off by my mother-in-law. We cut her out of our lives after she pulled this stunt on us with the baby. We tried to understand where she was coming from. Not taking the baby, but that part's insane, but just her feeling betrayed. I'm sure she genuinely believes that I said that about her, and she does truly believe the lies of her daughter. And that must have really hurt her, to be honest. Bad, and made her feel straight up betrayed, I understand. So me and Ethan came up with the game plan to show Polly her daughter's true colors. Ethan went to his sister's house pretending to be there to check up on her. Serena pretended that she wasn't happy to see her brother, who had cut her off from his life, but she wasn't too hostile. I think Serena thought that her brother was there to patch things up. She was wrong. Ethan told her that Polly finally believes me now, instead of her lies. Well, that made Serena visibly angry, and Ethan revealed that Polly called her a liar and a toxic person who likes stealing everyone's attention. Serena was so mad and asked her why he was even there in the first place. Ethan told her that he's there to make her realize that she was a disappointment to not just him, but everybody around. But she, well, could change, and it's not too late. That only made her more mad, and he soon left, after having planted the seed of distrust in her mind. So we waited a few days when we got a visit from Polly. Well, we let her in to hear her out, and she revealed that she believes me. So I asked why that was, and she revealed that Serena had called her up a couple of days ago, and called her stupid and easy to fool. Serena screamed at her on the phone for being naive and gullible enough for me to convince her against her own daughter. That's when Polly realized that her daughter was worse than she ever thought her to be. She came to the realization that I was indeed telling the truth, and it's been Serena lying all along for attention. Serena had been very mad when she thought her mother thought of her as a disappointment, and instead of doing better, she had chosen to take it all out on Polly, just like we expected. So, Polly apologizes for taking her anger out on me and Ethan like that and promises to do better, so we let her reunite with her granddaughter. We're just glad that she saw through Serena's bullcrap. Now, Serena is not going to get what she wants, and it's everyone's attention. But, especially her mother's. I'm just glad Polly was up to make things better between us when she found out the truth. I was scared that her own ego won't let her come to us even after having the nasty fight with Serena. Well, we love Polly being overbearing when it came to the baby when I was pregnant, and I would love to see her interact with the baby now that there's no issues with our relationship. Final update. Hello everyone, it's Cleo yet again. I thought that now that it's been 2 months since my mother-in-law Polly apologized for her behavior, I should update you guys on where we're at. So a few weeks ago, Serena tried to get in contact with her mom, but Polly ignored her. Serena even showed up at her house to try to manipulate her against me and Ethan. But Polly had had enough and told her to actually do something meaningful instead of trying to break people's relationship just because she wanted some attention. Serena had been offended by that, and Polly had to threaten Serena with the threat of calling the cops after Serena started to throw a tantrum right outside of her house. We haven't seen or heard anything from her after that. So, Polly has been taking care of her granddaughter as often as she can. This is great because now I can go back to work, and I don't go daily, but at least 3 times a week. Polly either comes over or we usually just leave the baby with her. She's no longer snappy with any of us and is back to being her loving self like she was during my pregnancy. As you know, I went back to work and it's been hitting really, really hard. Being away from my baby for hours on end is so painful. I'm thinking of starting to work from home. Ethan agrees that that might help with all these emotions, and I even go home early to spend more time with my baby, and sometimes Ethan accompanies me even though he's often very, very busy. Well, everything is great now, guys. Serena is out of our lives, and we no longer need to think about her creating drama for us. Polly, well, she's back to her regular self. And our baby is growing up so fast and is completely healthy. Life is on a better path now. Guys, thank you for listening to me vent. It was really hard for me to manage my emotions during my pregnancy and after the birth. So knowing that there were people hearing me out really helped me feel centered. I think it was hilarious when Ethan went to Serena and tried to convince her, hey, you're not gonna believe what our mom said. Guys, that was perfect reverse psychology 101. I want to know what you think when Polly then has to hear her own daughter screaming and yelling at her and just basically saying, hey, look, OP was right this whole time. Guys, I want to know what you thought about the story, what you would have done in OP's position. Let's just talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. My name's Mr. Reddit, so I narrate these stories every day, and if you guys want to be a part of the channel, consider subscribing. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.